Oh boy. Where's the cheesecloth thing? Interesting decision by you. We need some lights. What's going on here? Hey guys. Today we are going to make a delicious keto yogurt. I know me, when I was going to elementary school, I was all about the Go-Gurt. If you are a yogurt lover, you will know that on a keto diet, it's pretty tough to find a good low carb yogurt option. You have like the Carb Master yogurts, which is just like chemical things that make it like lower carb, so you don't really feel good about it. This is a nice homemade yogurt I think you can feel good about. This is the final product right here. You can see the consistency. This has been like straight out of the fridge, so it's really thick, but if you leave it out a little more, it won't be quite as thick. And as I mentioned, dairy-free. We're gonna be using coconut cream. You can also use coconut milk. I just noticed that the coconut cream is a little bit easier to strain off the thick fat part. To get started, we're gonna go with 2 cans of coconut cream for this recipe. So I've made a good like 10 batches of yogurt so far, just kind of trying to understand this full process, and it's pretty interesting, and I have some good takeaways that you can maybe apply to your yogurt making. First thing is we're going to crack these 2 cans of coconut cream open. I like this brand, Thai Kitchen coconut cream. What I'm looking for when I'm buying this coconut milk or coconut cream is look to make sure it actually has coconut in it. A lot of them will be like coconut flavoring and then they just thicken it. You don't want that. This is coconut water Guar Gum. Guar Gum thickens it a little bit. And actually having the Guar Gum in there is kind of nice because it results in a thicker yogurt as the final product. Like a lot of times you might need to add in some Guar Gum or like some agar-agar powder just to thicken the yogurt. In this instance, you don't need to do that. So let's crack these open. And these have been in the fridge for a full 24 hours. Now I tried with like a quick 6-hour fridge session for these, and they were not hardened enough. So I would recommend like a solid 24 hours in the fridge, maybe even pop them in the freezer for like the last half hour. You want the cream to rise to the top. So you wanna make sure your glass that you're gonna ferment this in is pretty clean because there's live cultures in this thing, so like if some contaminants get in there, it can be a problem. We are going to skim off the cream. This is about cream up to here and then the rest of it is water. And another cool thing about that is you're getting a lot of the fat and you're not really getting a lot of the sugar. A lot of the sugar is contained in the water portion of this. So just kind of scoop this out. And if you get a little water in, it's no problem. It actually sweetens it, and it's a nice natural sweetness from the coconut, so don't stress too much. So you see what you're left with here? The water. Now, let's talk yogurt cultures. This is a yogurt starter. This is something you can order on Amazon. I will link this below. I got 12 starter packs for, I want to say like around $10. The thing about these is it's just a probiotic, but it's the specific probiotic strains that you need for yogurt. These are just your run-of-the-mill like probiotics you take daily. 30 billion CFUs, 100 billion CFUs. I've tried both and the results, actually these are one of each right here. I tasted these earlier. The only real difference is the taste. The taste you get with this is more mellow and like store-bought, kind of like tamed down yogurt flavor. When you make yogurt with either of these, it's like intense, tangy, like pretty intense, tangy yogurt, which I like better. It just, to me, it like feels healthier. I feel like the tangier it is, the more healthy it is. Maybe that's not true though. Just from my testing, per 1 can of coconut cream, you want 1 pill of 30 billion CFUs. One thing to keep in mind though is this is our starter batch. So this is the first batch we're gonna ferment. You wanna kick up the heat on this one a little bit. You wanna add more probiotics to this so that then each additional batch you might wanna make using this as the starter will be strong and it will have like that yogurt taste. I'm gonna use a 100 billion probiotic pill in this one. So to get the yogurt started to ferment, you wanna heat this to about 105 to 115 degrees. I just use the microwave and then I stick in a meat thermometer to read the temperature. I've also made a few batches of yogurt without microwaving it and getting it up to temperature to kick off the fermentation process, and it actually works like relatively similarly. I notice a little bit better results when you heat it, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so now you just take your probiotic pill. This is 100 billion. And you just open it up. Dump it in. Now give it a good stir. You can also put the lid on and shake it around a little bit. And if you have a yogurt maker, use your yogurt maker. But let's be honest, you don't have a yogurt maker. Now we're just gonna take some cheesecloth, or really anything you want to use to cover it, whatever you got at home. Pop this on top. And leave it in a fermentation-friendly area of your house. What you're looking for is relatively high temperature. Like 100 would even be ideal, but I don't do it at 100. I just do it on the counter, which is like 75 degrees. Low airflow, so you can put it in the microwave, in the oven. Just make sure you remember that it's in there. I usually just set mine like in a corner, right there. Works fine. And you want to let it ferment from 24 to 48 hours. I find 24 hours is like as tangy as I want it to get. At that point, you put the lid on, put it in the fridge, and that stops the fermentation process. Your yogurt is then stable and it tastes the same going forward. Consume it in about a week. Here we have 2 that I put in yesterday, so 24 hours have passed. So let me tell you about these. This one here was made with the yogurt starter. And you can see it's pretty thin, because at room temperature, the coconut cream is pretty thin. That is really good yogurt. I might change my recommendation. The yogurt starter is really good. This is the probiotic. Intense. So very distinct, very distinct and different. This one is like what you imagine yogurt tastes like. This is like a very intense Greek yogurt kind of flavor. Now this one was not made with a probiotic pill. This was made with a starter. This is like the second fermentation. When that one gets done that I just put in the corner tomorrow at around this time, 24 hours later, what I like to do is just break that one up and make a bunch of additional batches. You don't need any more probiotics. Just like put 3 tablespoons of the starter in each different like mason jar, and you can probably make like 6 or 8 new batches. And then from one probiotic pill, you have like 8 of these yogurt. And you can keep on making these over and over. About the 4th or 5th time, it starts losing its like flavor. So then you gotta restart. Now, to make delicious vanilla yogurt, which is what we are making today, just add a few flavorings to this and you're good to go. So we're gonna add a little splash of vanilla, a few drops of stevia, stir it up, and you have delicious homemade low-carb vanilla yogurt. And that is phenomenal. This is better than any yogurt you've ever bought from the store, I guarantee it. So now what you do with these is you just put the lid on, put it in the fridge, it stops growing, it stops fermenting, you got yogurt, right? When you take it out of the fridge and you're ready to actually eat it, it's this consistency because it thickens up. So like, you know, normal yogurt. This is a awesome dairy-free, vegan, low-carb. Is it vegan? Are probiotics vegan? Let me know what kind of awesome flavors you guys try and how you like it. Let me know.